Their ultimate goal is to get as many bouquets in the hands and homes of hospice and palliative care patients as possible.
Cor Harlan joins us live to explain the Bloom Project during National Give Back to the Giver Week. Cor?
So when I first looked at this, Jenny and Ken, Give Back to the Giver Week, I said, well, gosh, what is that? Give Back to the Giver Week. Well, let me back up a little bit and first tell you about the Bloom Project, which has made a real mark in our community by donating bouquets of flowers to people who are in hospice care, an end stage of life. Jay, here's some of the finished product right here. These are very typical of the bouquets of flowers that go, again, these are to hospice patients, people who are going to die in a very short order of time. So Governor Brown signed a proclamation earlier this year to sort of turn the tables on that a little bit and pay a little bit of respect and a little bit of homage and give a nod out to the people who provide care to people who are in end stage of life. And one of them is with me right now. This is Sue Curry, who recently moved to Battleground from out in the country in the Yakult. You moved from the little city to the big city, a Battleground there. Tell me a little bit about this, because I was talking with somebody here earlier this hour about your job. It must be so difficult. You make friends who come in the door and then lose them in as soon as 6 months sometime. That has to be sort of a lot of different things.
It can be hard, but mostly it really teaches us to live life to the fullest every single day. And honestly, we see the beauty in life. So we get to bring a lot of this kind of beauty to our patients. So it's pretty incredible.
And these people who are in end stage of life, a lot of times it would seem to me that they would just want normalcy, somebody to talk with about the ball game or what they're griping about or what they're a sense of normalcy, right?
Right. They don't want us to come in and be sad and forlorn. Right. They want us to come in and be about living. So that's what we try to bring. And Bloom Project, this project really gives us the opportunity to do that. Our caregivers actually light up when they get to come get these flowers and take them out to a patient's house. So it's incredible. It's a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift. And they Bloom Project, for folks who don't know, they get all of these flowers as they are about to expire themselves. They give them a new life. They put them in the right kind of water. They cut them the right way to extend their shelf life. And when these bouquets in front of you are delivered to hospice patients, they're expected to have a good shelf life of between 5 and 7 days. The idea being, Jenny and Ken, that they would like these flowers to continue to bloom as some of these people that are receiving them are sort of declining in health. So it's a nice little juxtaposition of life and death, and who doesn't like a little color in their lives? And a lot of it this week is going to the caregivers. Caregivers are people that give care and hope and some company to people who are in end stage of life. Sue Curry from Battleground is one of those people getting that honor today. We'll send you out of here. Maybe we'll send you out of here with a bouquet of flowers. All right. Thank you for getting up this morning, Jenny and Ken. This is a cool project. We're going to put a few bouquets together a little bit later on this hour. I don't suppose that they tell me that I'm going to make a bouquet here, but I think we'll save that for something the elephants might be able to eat at the zoo. I think that'd probably be more suitable on my bouquet there. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cor, it's a great project that they do. The flowers are beautiful, and I'm sure it really helps the people who receive them. So thanks, Cor.
It does.
Amazing
Lift some
job.
spirits.
Yeah.
Lifting a lot of
All right.
spirits. Yep.
Thank you, Cor.